Namaste. Welcome to Satsang. It's all good here. So, I wanted to all this, and is there something deeper than this? Is there some way that I can function? Is there some other place I can live my life from, that is going to function better? And it was the same for me. It was suffering that brought me to Satsang. And it was suffering that pushed me all the way through to come out of it fully. And so it serves us really to look at why we're suffering, what is the cause of that suffering, and to really get clear on that. Most human beings are moving around in their life, living their life, trying to achieve a good life, to have a good life, to have perhaps the right relationship, the right job, the right amount of money, the right whatever it is that each human being wants. We all deserve to be happy. We all want to be feel loved, feel accepted, And we've all been taught that the way to achieve that is to really search for it out there in our world, isn't it? If I find the right person, or if I find what I'm supposed to do with my life purpose, if I find, if I have the right amount of money in my bank account, if I can pay off my debts, or if I can find the right house, and on it goes, And most people eventually end up in Satsang because they've realized that that isn't going to give them what they're looking for, that isn't going to give them the peace that they're looking for. And even if you can manage to achieve some level of peace from our outside world, some measure of happiness from our relationships and our job and family and all of those other things, invariably life is going to shake it up at some point. We've got it looking like this and we think we're happy, and then something happens. Something changes and we're stuck. We're suffering again. And if all we know is to look out there for happiness, then time and time again, life's going to, really give us a kick. If we can look honestly and say, why are we trying to get our life to look this certain way? Why are we trying to get it all lined up to look like we want? And it's really because we want to feel how we'll feel when we have our life, all our ducks in a row. We want to feel happy, we want to feel successful, we want to feel loved, we want to feel peaceful, we want to feel safe, we want to feel respected, valued, and on it goes. So it's not that our life gets turned upside down or something goes wrong, it's that it changes how we feel. If we lose someone, or if we lose our job, or we're stressed at work, or we run out of money, or something like that, it causes this negative state inside us that we call suffering, So if you can get really honest and say what we really want is to feel really good all the time, then we can get a little bit closer, cut out the middleman of trying to rearrange our life to get it to look like we think it will. Because none of that stuff is going to give you what you want anyway, not for very long, and not reliable. and it's not stable. Life is always changing. We can't rely on anything really from out there to make us feel a certain way. Especially if those other beings we're trying to get those feelings from to feel loved or respected or valued are also needing that from you. You know, you're coming into this relationship empty already, nothing to give. In fact, looking to receive. So when we first find out perhaps about Satsang or about the fact that there's some deeper state inside that we can access, it's usually a breath of fresh air, because the first time we can find what we're really looking for, no matter what our world looks like out there, whether we've got all our ducks in a row or not. And when we begin to realize that there's a source within us of everything we want anyway, already inside, and we learn how to access that, then we can begin to look inside ourselves for the same feelings that we're hoping to achieve. Why do we even think, even a step back than that, why do we think we need to look for these feelings? Why do we think we need to find peace? Why do we think we need to find security, a sense of security? Why do we even need to find a sense of respect or self-worth or self-esteem? Why are those missing from how we feel already? We can take another step back in Satsang and realize that we feel this way because we're operating from the wrong idea of who we are. We're operating from this idea of ourselves as just a person, just a limited being that was born and that's going to die at some point later, much later, hopefully. So when we realize this, then instead of looking for peace, instead of looking for security and a sense of being loved and wanted and respected, we can begin to ask, isn't it already here? Is there some place inside me that perhaps I haven't found it yet, that already feels that way, already, that's already complete, that's already totally fulfilled? And then we've cut out all these steps in the middle. We don't need our world to look any way at all. We don't need to feel any way at all, because we'll be living from this place, our true being, which is deeper than what most people experience. And we'll be feeling this way that we want to feel all the time. Not because we've received something or managed to find something or hold on to someone or any of these things, but just because we've found what we feel pretty crap. So I have to try and find somehow, some way to find that. And then see what. And so Satsang is that place really to find that deeper aspect of our being, to search and to find and to experience, not just to think about. To come to recognize I'm not what I thought I was at all. There's something about me that's not definable. It's not tangible. It's not wanting or needing. It's not reaching. It's completely peaceful already. Completely. And when I live my life from that place, then it doesn't matter to me how my life looks. Although I still, would like to achieve what I want to achieve. Then just go deeper inside yourself. Is there more to me than I've realized? Is there a depth to my being that lies undiscovered? Is there another realm, paradigm that I can function from, where my life is completely different? How I feel is completely stable, peaceful, fulfilled, content, feeling of self-esteem that's uncorrodable by life. Anything can happen and you remain completely stable. So I'm here to help you find that, and I'm here for people that want to find that. What would it be like if people began to live from that level, that place? If we all came into our world, into our family, into our relationships, into our job, from this place of fullness already, what would life look like? What would this planet look like? Slightly different than it does now. So if tonight's your night to find it, or if now is the right time to discover what you really are, then nothing can stop you at all. So on that note, I'd like to welcome any questions. Anybody would like to find that real being, experience it, or to share anything with us. Do you have a question, Dave?
Yeah. I'm fishing. I am fishing. How about that? So you mentioned before about the Dissolving the Ego course, which was, and the book, the Dissolving the Ego book, which has really profoundly given me a lot. It's really changed me, actually. The course has been fantastic, and I really, really passionately believe, that what I've learned in that, and all the other readings that you've given me has really changed me. And I'm thinking more from my, definitely thinking from my heart more than my head. So I'm sort of bypassing all that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel
it's quieter and quieter up here.
Yeah.
Good.
And it's just there's a lot of like really good things happening, but then there's also a lot of, it just seems like I'm expunging loads of stuff. Like yesterday, my ex-girlfriend, or my recently ex-girlfriend, had a serious car crash. There's just lots of things happening to the people that I knew or I used to know, and it's just there's a lot of like, I guess, a lot of strange things happening, I guess, or strange on one level anyway. It just seems that good things are happening. Personally, I've met some really amazing people. One person in particular is really amazing, and it's just there's lots of the chatter. It's just these little things that flare up every now and then, and I'm sort of acknowledging them, and I'm sort of seeing them happen.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them as I'm looking at them as some sort of symbol, whether I'm separate from the self and stuff like that. So I'm just sort of just looking, I guess, for a couple of tips on that in terms of.
Be true. You've more and more living from that place where you don't need anything, don't want anything, where there's no way to get, achieve. Is this really true for me now?
Mm-hmm.
Now, where I'm living from, and maybe, in that moment, these things will come up because they are asking for your clarity, your insight now. You've seen what you are, and you're living that more and more. So the ego will say, look, deal with this one now. Show me why this isn't true now. And as you do, well, it can't be true that I want the patterns that we've had for a very long time. I might need 3 or 4 confirmations to really cement that new way of seeing, But each time it comes up and you confirm that's not true for me anymore, by experiencing the natural state, the awakened state, it should just fall away anyway. You've got a choice in those moments really where to put your attention now. So hopefully they should be getting less and less, and easier to spot when they come up, and you're less pulled in by them. The more power you've got from the awakened state, the easier it is to spot those things when they come up, and just to to notice that.
It's a totally different world. Like business, and you can hear it.
Yeah, because mind doesn't really understand this deeper being. It can't grasp it, can't. So it says, it does not compute. And
very much.
From mind's perspective, living as the self, as the in the awakened state, is not going to work, because you can't fix problems from there. You can't solve the problems that mind is sure are real. They come back up just to say hello, but really to get the light of your wisdom now and your clarity, so that you can confirm inside. It's good stuff. They should get less and less and less, and easier to spot. Sort of the higher you get, the sort of clearer view you've got of mind and what it's doing. And more it should just mind will just be absent. Every now and again it'll pop back in with something to say. And it's quite noticeable. Like, oh gosh, yeah.
Very much.
Good stuff. More peace every day, deeper peace.
Very much so. Yeah.
Good. That's always the measure. Of,
Like there's lots of crazy. There's been it's been a very tumultuous couple of months, but it's like it's happening to somebody else.
Yeah, and you just you're at a distance from all that, really. You're just watching that go on. Excellent. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much.
That's okay. Anyone else like to ask? Yeah.
So on Saturday morning, I woke up and it was very loud. The chatter was very loud, and I thought I'd lost it.
Yeah.
I had this panic. I thought I'd lost it, and I did.
It being silence.
It being the silence,
right.
And the peace and the. But by the end of the day, I'd had a nice day with the kids, and I sat and I'd had silence and I'd listened to Satsang. So I was all right, and I had a good day on Sunday. And then on Monday, I spent the day with somebody who it wasn't a good idea to spend 10 hours with that person. And I found myself completely out of touch, short-tempered and cross, not particularly.
Yeah.
Some people would notice I was short-tempered and cross, but I was. But I can't shut myself in my house and say it's too people out there.
Yeah.
Which is what I want to do. So it's just, obviously it's the time of year we do a little bit more socialising because it's Christmas coming up, and it's finding that keeping in touch kind of thing that it just, I really thought I'd lost it till I got home on Monday night. Really did. So yeah.
Did it come back again at some point?
I sat with some meditation, some it did come back. I'd had a long time where I felt like it was all head.
You couldn't access it. Yeah.
I couldn't access it.
So if there's peace, but it's still coming and going, it really just hasn't been seen clearly enough. So if you ask the question, what are you? We did this the other Sunday.
Yeah.
And you got a bit of a shock that you weren't what you thought you were.
Yeah.
So the best piece of advice I could give you is never to assume that you've seen that fully. Always be looking to have that revealed more, deeper. And if the piece is still seemingly coming and going, then when you look at your true being, you experience it, there'll be peace. When you look back at mind, it'll seem to go, right? So what we can do is ask the question, is it disappearing? Is it really coming and going, the peace? It seems to, in our experience, right? But if we keep believing that experience and letting it dictate what you're going to believe, that peace is coming and going and it won't stay, I can't get it to stay, then guess what's going to happen over Christmas? Lots of coming and going. Well, anytime. Yeah. So if you ask the question, is it really true that it's coming and going? Most of us allow our experience to dictate what we're going to think is happening. You have to get in front of that and ask, is that just because I've been experiencing it coming and going, doesn't mean it's actually true, right? It's a different way around, isn't it? So if you ask the question, is it really true that it's gone, when it seems to go? If you really want the answer to that, you've done really good with your contemplation and looking, you'll find it takes you straight back into that silence, that peace. If, on the other hand, so-and-so turns up in your life and suddenly you feel you've dropped out of this peace and you listen to the mind that says it's gone, you've lost it, can't get it back, you're going to have a really hard time getting it back. And you live that out totally that day, for 10 hours or however long it was, right?
Yeah.
Deeper investigation, asking that question, is it really true that it's gone? Is that really true? Seems to be. Granted, it seems to be right in that moment. But if your real being is always here, then the peace can't go. It's just that tension's gone back to mind and to thoughts. And certain people, events, and situations trigger us to look at those thoughts again. So we've got to flex a bit of muscle and build some muscle in them moments and ask that question, has it really gone? And probably everyone else in your entire world would agree that it's gone. You have to be the one that says it can't go. I know it can't go. It must still be here. Yeah. Investigate what you really are and you'll notice it's not coming and going. It doesn't even need a human body.
No.
It's more like space, isn't it? It's formless. So if it's not coming and going, it's got to always be there. Can you see? It's like giving you an opportunity to disbelieve that thought that I can lose it. First you experienced it and it's nice and you want it more, of course you do. If you're anything like me, you want it all the time. And you want it so strong that you can never lose it ever again. Ever. No matter what, if the whole planet blew up tomorrow, it'd still be peaceful. I mean, obviously you'd be running around. So to do this, you've got to start and question the idea that it can come and go. Just because it happens in your experience doesn't mean it's true. It's a real different way of looking at things, isn't it? Yeah. Everyone else says, I experienced this, therefore it's true. But we're experiencing it because we haven't questioned these thoughts. We're so used to states that come and go. And most of our human life, we're up and down like a yo-yo, aren't we? Somebody says, oh, you look nice today. Oh, thank you very much. And then somebody else says, if you put weight on, oh, God, and you're up and down constantly. So you've got to learn to get deeper than that question. Has it really gone? Can it really go? Get really interested in that. And it'll just, because if you know that the peace can't go, if you know with utter conviction that silence can't leave because I am that silence, guess what your experience is going to be?
It's still there.
It's always there. Yeah, always there. And even if mind says you lost it, you'd be like, don't be silly. It's just the talking voice then in your head that has no effect on you. When we believe that voice, we experience it immediately. Yeah. So what happens once you've experienced what you really are is you begin to get given all these lovely opportunities to take your seeing deeper. The person that really used to trigger you, or a lack of something you need, or not enough time, or you're running late for something and you're doing great until you look at it, oh my God, and then stuff coming up like that. You probably noticed that happening a fair bit.
Yeah, I'm better at that. I'm not bothered when I'm running late these days.
So your wish has already been put out there to be so established in this peace that you can never lose it.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to go and live through these experiences where you seem to lose it and watch it up and right back up again the moment you ask the question. Yeah. Can you see you've been living you've been allowing your experience to dictate what you think is true, that it's coming and going, because that's how it seems at first. But I remember feeling very strongly, I don't want this anymore. I want it all the time. I want to know it's there all the time. So far gone into it that I can't even hear my mind when it says, you lost it again, you know, gone. Yeah. And you'll find that question will just open it back up. You just ask the question, is it true, really, that it's gone? Really, really? And I'm not going to take my experience as evidence. Yeah. Because otherwise you're in and out, in, out, up, down, back and forth. Yeah. Excellent. Looking forward to hearing the result of that. Would anyone else like to ask or share? Should we do a meditation then? So just as you're sitting, we're going to let all of this meditation is to achieve nothing at all. So we're just sitting, just being. We're not trying. We're not reaching. We're not becoming. We're not letting go. Let's just see what it feels like. We're not trying to change anything about our experience in this moment. So if how we are in this moment is completely as it should be. If thoughts arise, just let them come and go. Don't push them away. We don't need to pay any extra attention either. Simply being, and we're not doing. There's no need to control anything. There's nowhere to get. Just letting go of any intentions, any idea that anything needs to change in this moment. allowing yourself to feel what it's like to just be. Mind arises and says that this isn't doing anything, this isn't getting you anywhere. Just let it say what it needs to. You just be. Recognizing that when we don't try to get anywhere, when we're not trying to become something, who we are in this moment is already peaceful. Even if thoughts are here, even if emotions are here, there's also peace. Notice how your body begins to relax. When we're not trying to get somewhere, there's nothing you need to do in this moment. Just sitting, just being. Just noticing that quietness within you becomes more and more noticeable as we let go of intention. As we let go of trying to change. Just allowing everything in this moment, including yourself, to be as it is. Inviting that deeper being to come forward that's already complete, already peaceful, already at rest. Peace arises. Simply by not trying to find silence. Silence is here. As if we're just tuning in, slowing down, relaxing into our natural being. Thoughts can come and go. There's nothing you need to do with them. Yeah. Not looking for anything in this moment. Not needing anything to be different than it is. Allowing your body to relax in this quietness. Allowing your mind to relax in this quietness. This place where nothing needs to change. This place where you don't need to change. Just inviting ourselves to experience this moment completely. The natural state of peace and quiet arises when we stop disturbing ourselves. The natural state of fulfillment and love, contentment. Is here when we stop trying to find it. Easier and easier. Just recognizing that being that just is. Setting aside our goals and desires just for a moment. There's nothing you need to do here. And there's nothing you need to be here. Just gently inviting this moment to reveal itself even clearer. Just gently asking, is there even more peace? Coming to know this quietness that is you. Just noticing this peace is effortless. Just looking the peace. This place is always here. Always available. To find it, you simply stop looking. Go deeper into this moment. Allowing it to fill you up completely. Just by resting in this natural state. Everyone is here. Already are enough here, complete, whole, free. Just recognizing this is always available. Simply by coming to rest inside, not searching or seeking, we end up finding. Let's just rest in that silence for a moment, in that peace. In a few moments, you'll hear the singing bowl sound to signal the end of this meditation. But before we end this meditation, let's not end this quiet state within. Let's not believe that it must go when we open our eyes and begin to move. Let's see if we can remain open and see if it isn't always here. Even when we're moving around, we never need lose this quiet peace. Thank you. Namaste.